Alright, hello everyone. In this video, I'm gonna give a little bit of an update about PvE for Berserker. Basically, in this video, I'm gonna go about over the gear. I'll do a quick overlook over the abilities, which haven't changed all that greatly compared to my last video. I'm also gonna show the rotation, which changed a little bit on this training dummy, so that people can actually see how they should play. And yeah, maybe just give you like some general gameplay tips for Berserker. And we'll just go a little bit more in depth than what we did last time. So we'll start off with gear. Basically, in Bless Online, the best rune, well, there's this rune system, and basically there's only one rune which is like really good, and that is the bear pattern or bear rune. And ideally, you want to have the bear pattern on almost all of your gear because it just gives you the most damage. It's just really good. It just scales way better than anything else. It's that simple. So basically, if you can't get like a level 37 piece from, farming the dungeon or getting the broker, then it actually is worth it to buy like the level 23 gear. So this is, for example, what I'm using here. I'm using a level 23 blue item just because I have a bear rune in it. That is how strong bear runes are, okay? Just to give you like a little bit of a of an idea how really strong they are. So basically, if you look over my gear, this is all bear pattern, just for the highest damage. And then you want to have at least one wolf pattern. You can go for two, you don't have to. I'm going for one, I think it's enough for me. With one wolf pattern as a blue rune, like this is blue, I have 98.7% hit chance, and that's high enough for me personally. I don't think I need more. I haven't really noticed a whole lot of misses, and that's enough. I think if you only want to use green runes, then I would advise you to go for two wolf patterns. Simply because, especially with like this whole new chain system, missing skills messes up your chain, so then you kind of want to have more hit. And then I have one more rune, or one more piece, is like the epic one. I got it. It has a lion pattern. It is not the best pattern, as I said. Bear pattern would be way better, but I got it, and it's still worth it to use, in my opinion. The extra crit is kind of nice. With this right now, I'm sitting at like 5.78%. It's really not that much, but yeah, it gives me a little bit more defense for PvP, which is nice. Some more HP. So yeah, I decided to use it because overall it's still okay. But yeah, basically I would get way more fighting power if I would be using like a level 37 with a bear rune, but I didn't have one anyway. I think the only one I had was like a 23, and I had this one with a lion pattern, so I decided, screw it, I'm gonna enchant this. It's okay. I just wanted to use an epic pretty much. Alright, so yeah, basically this is it for the armor. Get bear patterns, get at least one wolf pattern blue. Ideally get two if you only want to use green runes. Yeah, alright, so next up is the weapon. For PvE, I would say Malevolence, Rage Reduction, is probably the best. Maybe not the best, but it's okay. There's not really anything really good for PvE, honestly. If there was a weapon that would reduce the dodge move cooldown, then I would definitely go for that. But there isn't. The only weapon for dodge roll is that it reduces the rage cost, which we don't actually pay rage anymore, so that's useless. Would have been nice if they just swapped that around, but what can you do? So yeah, for PvE, I'd probably just take Malevolence, just reduced rage cost. Whatever. It's nothing good, but it's better than nothing. But then this is for PvE. Just for PvP, since we're on the weapon real quick, I want to mention that. For PvP, you should go for 4-star. There's a weapon that basically has baseline suppression as a skill. There's one that reduces the rage cost, and there's one that reduces the cooldown. You should go for baseline suppression for 4-star. And it kind of fits here in this video because you kind of only want to enchant one weapon anyway, unless you're like really try hard. So if you have the choice, and if you want to do PvE and PvP, screw the Malevolence. It's not good enough. I just bought this weapon at the start, and I didn't know what the translations were because they were bad. But yeah, if you're doing both, then I would suggest go for baseline suppression cooldown reduction, and because this is like one really good skill in PvP. Okay, so that's it for gear. For rings, I'm using these ones right now just for the gear score, but there's better rings. There's rings that give actual stats. I was just too lazy so far to craft them. I don't know. But there are rings that give you stats. You can craft them with handicraft, obviously, and you should definitely go for that. Same for the necklace. Just get one. I mean, no reason not to. Alright, so let's go over the skills real quick. So basically, I haven't reset my skill tree since the last video because I'm too cheap. I think they should give us this stuff for free, especially during early access, where they're changing a lot of skills and they are badly translated, and this is a buy-to-play game. I think it's really unfair to make people pay. Yes, they gave us 3 for free, but in my opinion, we should have free resets. Maybe not like a full tactic reset, but let us like remove these skills manually for free. This should not cost me 20 gold. That is completely outrageous. Let me just... Do you want to close without saving? Yes, okay. Just in case. I don't want to accidentally lose 20 gold. Okay, so for skills, as I said, nothing changed. We'll go over it real quick. I have 1 point here for the crit. Then we go into here. Decapitate. That's good. Cry of Anger. Reduce cooldown. You don't actually need this. I noticed that. So you don't actually need this. You put those points in here. You don't point anything in here because it doesn't actually increase anything except for stun rate and rage gain, and we don't need that. So then for anger tactic, rampage tactic, sorry, you again put all the points you can into decapitate. It's the hardest hitting skill, really good. And then the thing that changes is you put rumbling ground, you keep that the same. You take out the points here and you put full points in here in Rhapsody. And then with the points you saved from this one, you can put those either into Swift Demise for a little bit more extra damage. You can put them into... Yeah, I think this one's pretty decent, like the conversion effect. I need to check how long that actually lasts. Can we do that real quick? Because I'm not 100% sure if that actually works. Okay, so if we attack, just use whatever, it doesn't matter. Okay, I know it is active. Yeah, okay. Yeah, then I would suggest... Alright. We're gonna do a life test, because I didn't think about that until now. Because here it was just the crit conversion effect as well. Okay. Let me check something real quick. So we're gonna do this. It's active. 1, 2, 3. I just barely didn't get it off. I think with perfect timing, you could probably get that off. Maybe they increased the duration. So I'm not sure if this is that good. We're gonna try on the other one real quick. And then I'll tell you how to do the rotation exactly. So we do 2 hits, we swap. 1, 6, charge. See, in this one we can get off, right? Yeah, so we have like higher crit there. Oh, that's sweet crit. Alright, so yeah. Figured out a better build. So yeah, take these points out, put the points in Rhapsody, put the points into this one for more crit. Good. Actually, that's fighting power. I lied. That's pretty good. So you put full points in here. You put full points in here, you take this shit out, and you take this garbage out. And then we're good. So that's basically the build. Nothing really changed. We'll go over non-chain skills real quick. Get the attack power. It's not great, but it's decent on some bosses where you have like a predictable phase where you can do a lot of burst. Patala is a good example. First boss gets frozen, you do a lot of damage. Is that second or third? Like the Nagas get stoned, you do a lot of damage. The statue thing, the shield gets removed. You can do, like, you need to do burst there. And yeah, there's plenty of examples where basically you can time your roll and then start a combo. You probably won't get a decapitate out, but you can open up with like your double earthquake, and then you'll just do a little bit more damage with those earthquakes. It's nice to have. You don't, like, you have a higher cooldown on dodge. So if you find yourself relying on dodge a lot, maybe do like a couple of runs of dungeons before you skill this. You have more dodges. See if you can like tone down the dodge moves. Just try to use them as little as possible. Just basically run out of skills instead of rolling. And yeah, once you get more familiar with the dungeons, then you can just start skilling into this for that little bit of extra damage. Then, yeah, other off-stand skills. Fighting Spirit for the anger gain. We'll go about this in a bit. Fighter Spirit for some damage. And Malevolence, do not skill this. This is a mistake. Once again, I'm too cheap to reset this. But basically what this does is what Malevolence does as a basic is that, we'll go here, is that it reduces the physical defense of enemies within 5 meters by 20%. It's great for yourself, it's great for Guardians, it's great for Rangers. It's great overall. Now, the thing I didn't notice until, I think they fixed the translation a little bit, or I just didn't read it properly, but basically it removes this physical defense reduction, and instead it gives you 10% fighting power for 5 seconds. Not that good, especially with the increased cooldown, and especially since it's only 5 meter radius. You might get the Guardian with that. you're not gonna get the ranger with that, most likely, because they're always on high range because they do more damage then. So don't skill this, it's a mistake. Just stay on this one. All the others are terrible. Abilities, nothing changes, just get the damage, no one cares. Alright, so rotation wise, what you want to do is you want to start off in this stance in anger tactic, and then let's just assume we're in fight. I can't really show this right now because I'm gonna lose all my rage, but basically let's assume we're in fight and we don't lose our rage. You start off with fighting spirit, and if you have the weapon for the reduced rage cost, you can basically cast Malevolence and Fighter's Will. You want to use Malevolence first, then my Fighter's Will. So it would go like this. I'm just only going to cast Fighter's Will now because the rage is going to tick down. You open up with Cry of Anger, double Earthquake, you swap, you jump on them, you do one basic hit, and you do Decapitate. You want to have your Decapitate as the last hit of the chain every single time because Decapitate hits the hardest. And you do exactly the same on this stance. You swap, bam, Decapitate, good damage. Cry of Anger, hit, swap stance, jump in, hit, Decapitate. And again, see now, like my Earthquake was a little bit on cooldown. If you're like really fast, you might be a little bit too fast, but we'll go over that, what you can do as fillers then. Alright, bam, swap. Okay, so he dodged. So when he dodges, what you do is this, and you go for the bleed. The bleed is pretty decent damage. I usually have swap stances. Well, sometimes I do, sometimes I don't. Depends on what happens. But either you do that. Then on this stance, if they miss, let's just assume I missed, I don't know, my first hit, or they dodged it. You go into this, and you do basically this, and this. You do like your R. And then you go into Cry of Anger. And back into this. And bam. So that's pretty much it for the rotation. You just use your middle skills only as fillers, only if you really have to, because they're not that great. The bleed is nice to have. You can use the bleed, for example, also when you know there's a burst phase incoming. You can apply the bleed before. And then, for example, what I like to do is, we start in this stance. I know there's burst incoming, so I go like this. I apply the bleed. Before he gets stoned, bam, I swap stance. Now the boss gets stoned, for example, or roughly now. He's bleeding, and I get a Decapitate off early. That's nice. Similar, for example, the statue boss again in Patala. You just apply the bleed while it's still shielded, and then it's going to tick for higher once the shield is gone. But that's just like those small min-maxing things that don't really matter. Yeah, alright, so pretty much that's it. You want to use basically this basic rotation for the highest amount of damage you can do. Berserkers overall are pretty decent in terms of damage, in my opinion, in PvE. They're still the most reliant on, like, you know, not getting screwed over by the boss. There's still lots of bosses that are melee unfriendly, but that's just a usual MMO thing. I mean, if you play melee in MMOs, you should know what you're getting into. And oh yeah, one thing I forgot. So basically, when do you want to use your off-chain skills? And that is basically, whoops, I messed that up. Okay, let's just assume I'm in 6th chain. And I just finished my 6th chain. This is when you want to use like Fighting Spirit, both buffs again, and you want to go into Cry of Anger and double Earthquake. Because double Earthquake, you can get this off before your Malevolence and your Fighting Spirit run off. And those two are basically your strongest openers for the 3-chain skill. So you always want to use it basically in this stance whenever they're off cooldown. Alright. Another thing, I guess you probably noticed already, dodge roll is like super unreliable. Now I can roll. Takes ages. Always take that into account, I guess. It's especially terrible on this, like, you can't roll during charging. You can't press escape. Well, you can press escape to cancel it, but it's still gonna do the animation. I don't know. This was better in Japan. I'm assuming that this will probably get fixed at some point. Like, look at this. It takes so long. I'm pretty sure that this will get better. I'm at least confident that it will, because it worked better in Japan. We'll have to see how long it takes them. Overall, like, the dodge move is very clunky compared to what it was. Also, yeah, try to actually use your dodge roll to not get hit by skills or by CCs. I mean, that's mainly applies for PvP. Because as you probably noticed, if you get CC'd and then you use your dodge roll, you get like stuck. Because the CC doesn't actually get cleansed. It just stays on you. I don't know. So you get like stuck for 1 or 2 seconds. You just stand there. Oh, I can't move my camera. What's happening? And then you stop moving. Terrible. I don't know. That also didn't happen in Japan. So I'm hoping that that kind of stuff will get fixed. Alright, so I guess that's pretty much it. Quick recap: get bear runes, they're awesome. Get wolf runes, they're awesome. Skill build didn't change that much. Just get Decapitate as your 6th hit chain combo, especially now that they do even more damage on the 6th hit. It's like 80% extra damage. It's pretty good. Make sure to get that off. Only use your middle ones as gap fillers. Just get them off quickly. And yeah, try to go for 6 chains as much as possible, honestly, because this is where your main damage comes from. So yeah, that's pretty much it for this video. I think I'm going to make another video where I'm going to talk a little bit about things that I would like to see change for Berserker in terms of like making them holy monka, what is happening. Alright, but yeah, maybe like some things where I would like to see Berserker headed in terms of balance, but that's a thing for another video. So thank you guys for watching. Make sure to follow the YouTube channel, I guess. Put any questions in the comments below. Follow my stream. Just ask the questions there in the chat. You'll get pretty much an immediate answer. I'm always happy to interact with chat. And yeah, I'll see you guys in the next video. See you guys.